Pinoy storytelling is unlike any other. The nation's most respected and award-winning screenwriter and novelist came out with several stories tonight. Our Ricky Lee just released Servando Magdamag at iba pang maiikling kwento alongside Manix Abrera's graphic novel adaptation of his novel Si Amapola. Now we get more details on these works with the Ricky Lee live here on The Final Word. It's an honor to have you tonight, Ricky. You just had your online book launch this evening for your two books, which includes a graphic novel. But tell us about the first book. Now, what can readers look forward to in Servando Magdamag at iba pang maikling kwento ni Ricky Lee?
It's actually a collection. I have it here. Yeah, here. It's a collection of the short stories that I wrote before I entered the movies. Konti ang nakakaalam na bago ako nagtagal sa pagsusulat ng screenplay sa pelikula, nagsimula muna ako sa pagsusulat ng short stories. So, nandito yun. It's a collection of the short stories that I wrote before I entered the movies, plus some notes on how I wrote those stories.
In 2018, Ricky, you said in an interview with Boy Abunda that being an activist and subsequently being imprisoned during the martial law years opened your eyes to many dark realities in our society. And some of these issues figured prominently in many of the film masterpieces you wrote, especially in the 70s and in the 80s. In this new book you wrote, some may be asking, sino ba itong si Servando Magdamag at how can he relate to our society and ano ba yung nire-represent niya?
Actually, most of the short stories na nasa collection na ito were written during martial law. Like there's a short story called Kabilang sa Mga Nawawala, tungkol sa isang teenager na biglang naging invisible, hindi siya nakikita at hindi naririnig ng mga tao. Sa journey niya, looking for his body, he finds out na he is a disaparecido pala. Anak siya ng mga aktivista at dinukot siya. So, it's very political pero may magic realism na aspect and very hip and teenager yung protagonist. Yung Servando Magdamag tungkol sa isang anak ng asindero na trapped siya dun sa patuloy na oppression ng kanyang angkan. It's a history of violence na tuloy-tuloy na sinusundan ng kanyang angkan na hindi siya makatakas. This is a short story that I wrote that won the Palanca in 1970 when I was a student in UP. Ginawa siyang pelikula ni Love Diaz. He's now in the process of editing the film. So yun yung Servando. That's a titular story in the collection.
Ricky, parang you're saying you've come full circle, no? Kasi in a sense, you did start out, as you mentioned, writing short stories back in your hometown in Daet, in Camarines Norte. Tapos nag-umpisa nga ito with one of your works being published in the Filipino Free Press. You also won the Palanca a number of times, the very young age, and the rest was, of course, history. Now, you are a Filipino legend in the film industry. How special itong dalawang librong ito that you decided to go back to that first form of storytelling?
Well, ang tagal-tagal ko sa pelikula And then I realized na ang roots ko pala nasa literature, which was short story writing in the past and then later novel writing. And yet, yung buhay ko, mas malaking portion ng buhay ko dinipot ko sa writing for films. Pero yung foundation ko pala ng writing for film, nakatungtong siya sa pagsusulat ko ng literature. So, when I decided to publish the short stories, parang it's a way of telling people na dito ako nanggaling, ito yung roots ko. Yung Amapola naman, I wrote that after I was already writing scripts. I wrote it in 2011. It's a political satire. Tungkol siya sa isang baklang manananggal na may multiple personalities who was destined to save the Philippines. It's set 10 days before the elections of 2012. So yeah, it's funny.
coincidence. Parang very, yan din, no? Very attuned with the times kasi we are having the elections also. So
Yes,
definitely
tama.
it will be a very interesting read for many of your fans and the Filipinos in general. But Ricky, you mentioned about saan ka nanggaling. You started from very humble beginnings back in Daet. You spoke about being hungry both literally and figuratively while pursuing your passion. Almost 5 decades later, you're a revered icon and legend of Philippine movies. I know you've asked this often, but what do you tell young people, just like you then, when you were starting or you're pursuing a career in writing?
Na I always tell them na lahat tayo nagsimula sa wala. You keep thinking na wala akong talent, wala akong confidence, wala akong opportunities ahead of me. Ang meron lang ako yung dreams ko. And noon, bata pa ako hanggang lumalaki ako sa diet, parang I was bursting with dreams na parang puputok sa dibdib ko na anong gagawin ko dito? Ang dami-dami kong pangarap, matutupad ba to? I think lahat tayo nagsisimula sa ganun eh. But in the end, matutupad at matutupad yan eh. Magsisikap ka lang eh. Sa akin, it's all hard work. I've always been working hard para ma-achieve yung dream na yon. Lumayas ako sa Bicol kasi gusto kong magkaroon ng mas bright na future. Gusto kong magsulat, gusto makapag-aral dito sa Maynila. So lumayas ako, nag-solo ako sa Manila, nagtrabaho ko noon ng trabaho. But all the time I was writing. On the side I was writing. On the side I kept writing and writing and writing and writing. Maski na ma-reject, maski walang mapag-publishan, maski anong mangyari, I just kept writing and writing and writing. Because I felt na, ayun ang gusto mong gawin eh. Ayun yung dream ko eh. So I think kung yun yung dream mo,
just go for it.
Doesn't matter, ma-reject, magkabagsak-baksak, go for it.
Yeah. For someone who has accomplished so much, Ricky, how do you keep yourself, you keep yourself very grounded, no? You continue to remain very low profile despite your status in the film industry. You even describe yourself to be very shy. In short, you never let your brilliance get into your head, so to speak. My question actually, Ricky, is to what do you attribute your staying power in the industry? Almost 5 decades.
Yeah, unang-una muna, I'm really a very shy person. Like itong ganito mga interview, it takes me time para ma-relax. Dati umiwas ako sa mga interviews or maging keynote speaker, lagi ako tanggi ng tanggi up to now. Na-relax lang ako when I started doing workshops kasi doon nagsasalita ka sa harap ng maraming tao eh. But ako nagtagal na nagsusulat up to now at nagkikwento. Gusto kong magkwento eh. Parang pag hindi ako nagkwento, walang saysay yung buhay. Parang hindi ako nabubuhay. Parang feeling ko parang kung ibon ka, dapat kumakanta ka. Kung doktor ka, dapat nanggagamot ka. Kung mahusay ka magluto, dapat nagluluto ka. And so kung gusto mong magkwento and may feeling ka na marunong naman ako magkwento, mahusay naman ako magkwento, I think dapat kang magkwento hanggang mamatay ka. Otherwise, hindi mo natupad yung kung ano ka. So, wala akong nakikitang reason except writer ako, so I write.
Patuloy po naming susuportahan po kayo, Sir Ricky Lee, highly respected and award-winning screenwriter, playwright, novelist, and Filipino legend. Thank you for the privilege of your time, sir.